The most valuable nickel errors that worth money. (1937) Three Legs Buffalo Nickel. The 1937 Buffalo nickel is one of the most popular modern nickel. These coins create a buzz among collectors today, as they did when they were first issued. Between 1937 and 1938, collectors removed many of these nickels from circulation, as they scavenged for the missing three legs error. This coin gets its name from the buffalo on the reverse missing three legs, but the hooves are intact. Because the mint no longer issues the buffalo nickel, the coin is scarce in circulated condition and scarcer in mint state or gem condition. Mint state examples boast a fine luster and frosty appearance. The missing three legs is a result of using overpolished dies. One specimen graded MS66 sold for $99,875 in 2021 at a Legend Rare Coins auction. 1935 Double Die Reverse Buffalo Nickel. 1935 was the only year in the entire Buffalo Nickel series with a significant double die reverse error. This alone tells you how rare and exceptional this coin is, because it is no longer being issued. Circulated examples are considerably few, with most being in lower grades and therefore not worth much. The population is extremely scarce for the uncirculated variety. The doubling is most noticeable around the motto E pluribus unum, and the words 5 cents on the reverse. Keep in mind that there are two varieties of the 1935 Buffalo Nickel with a double die reverse. These are Type 1 and Type 2. Type 1 shows a more dramatic doubling and therefore attracts a higher value. The most expensive example, graded MS64, was auctioned for $104,650 in 2007. 1964 SMS Jefferson Nickel. The U.S. Mint issued a special mint set with a Jefferson nickel in 1964. Special strike Jefferson nickels were not released into circulation and only a few were issued, making them extremely scarce. There are less than 2 dozen 1964 SMS Jefferson nickels. The reason for the production of these special strikes is still shrouded in mystery. In fact, these coins were discovered in 1993, close to 30 years after they were issued. These nickels are neither business strikes nor proofs, but their special strike status means they boast a satin finish, frosty details, and a brilliant strike. Examples of 1964 SMS Jefferson nickels with full bands can fetch as much as $32,900. 1918 S Buffalo Nickel. The San Francisco Mint struck about 4.88 million 1918 Buffalo nickels, but many had a poor strike. This coin is scarce in circulated and uncirculated conditions because it is old, and the mint no longer produces Buffalo nickels. Even in mint state it is hard to come across 1918 S nickels with a sharp strike. So if you discover such, it would definitely be one of a kind. Gem condition coins are considered some of the scarcest between 1913 and 1919. A collector bought an MS66 1918 S Buffalo nickels for $125,350. 1913 Liberty Head Nickel. There are only 5 known examples of the 1913 Liberty Head Nickel. These are the Olson, Norwood, McDermott, Eliasberg and Walton. It is still unknown why the Liberty Head Nickel was struck in 1913, given that it was supposed to give way to the Buffalo Nickel that year. In 2013, the last remaining example, the Walton nickel long believed to be lost, was discovered. George Walton's family owned this coin but had thought it was a fake, although numismatic experts later authenticated it. In 2022, the Great Collections Auction House acquired the Walton nickel for $4,560,000. 1918 7D Buffalo Nickel Double Die Obverse 350-750. The 1918 7 is considered a classic Buffalo nickel and one of the most important in the series. Interestingly, this extremely rare coin only gained interest among collectors about 13 years after its release. In 1918, 2 hubs, one dated 1918 and another 1917, struck an obverse die at the Denver minting facility. This resulted in the obverse die imprinting the dates 1918 and 1917, overlapping each other on the coin's reverse. As mentioned, numismatists didn't notice this interesting error until the 1930s. The mint struck a very small number of the 1918 7 overdated Jefferson nickels before it caught the error and prepared new dies. As such, these coins are extremely scarce, an attribute that significantly increases the coin's value. An example graded MS-65 was sold in 2006 for $350,750. 1939 P double die reverse, full step. Double die errors are not too common in the Jefferson nickel series. In fact, there are only 3 known significant double die dates, including the 1945 DD reverse, 1943 DD obverse and 1939 DD reverse. The 3's most prominent double die nickel error is the one struck in 1939 in Philadelphia. You won't have to look hard to notice the doubling around the word Monticello and 5 cents. To date, about 1,000 1939 P double die reverse errors are known to exist in all grades combined, with circulated examples in lower grades being the majority. Nickels with full steps are generally graded mint state and are more desirable, as demonstrated by one example that sold for $23,500. 1971 S no mint mark Jefferson nickel decam. The 1971 Jefferson nickel is one of the most valuable nickel errors for a good reason. Indeed, it is the only one in the Jefferson nickel series struck with a missing mint mark. That year, several proof coins minted at the San Francisco facility were struck using a die without the S mint mark. While the regular proof examples will attract a neat sum, the deep cameo, DCAM, varieties are the real gems. Only a few hundred cameos 1971 no mint mark Jefferson nickels exist today. While deep cameo specimen amount to 50 or fewer examples, expect to pay as much as $8,100 for 1971 no mint mark nickels designated decam. 1880 Shield nickel. The 1880 Shield nickel is the scarcest in the entire series. Most of the existing examples are designated as proof-like, but often come off as circulation coins due to the poor strike and low mintage. Less than 2 dozen 1880 Shield nickels are certified and authenticated. As mentioned, many are in poor condition while mint state examples are extremely rare. One such example graded MS-66 sold for an impressive $188,195 at a 2003 auction. 1946 D Jefferson D over D nickel. The 1946 Jefferson lot of nickels minted in Denver produced a few repunched mint mark errors, some of which are worth money. The D over D repunched mint mark error shows the mint mark D facing upside down while another D mint mark is struck over it in the correct position. At closer inspection, you will notice the curved part of the D appears at the front of the vertical part of the other D to the left. Examples graded MS-66 can bring in as much as $2,053. Nickel errors showing full steps are more desirable and can fetch up to $3,000.